Hi, Sean. Wondering if Roy would address his philosophy in practice concerning how often branding commercials should be changed. Obviously, no radio audience remains perfectly static. People move in and out of markets, tastes and programming change, etc., so that during any given week, there are brand new listeners tuning into the station. Let's suppose 80%. Disregarding such obvious considerations as sales and seasonal promotions driven by holidays or special events, I'm interested in knowing how Roy determines when one branding commercial should be replaced with another in the context of an annual schedule of 3 or more spots a day. Okay, here we are. 3 or more spots a day would be, in a 7-day week, 21 spots a week. Now, there's an old rule of thumb that I developed 20 years ago that said, average music formatted radio station running 21 ads a week between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. I don't care if you run 7 a day for 3 days or 3 a day for 7 days or whatever other combination you come up with. But most music formatted stations between the hours of 6 a and 7 p, if you run 21 ads, you're going to reach the identical same listener, the same person, an average of 3 times every 7 nights sleep. So it takes 21 ads for the average listener to hear that same ad 3 times. Now that's, I'm not going to say the point of diminishing returns, but in a long-term campaign, when you're not trying to make something happen immediately, then that is extremely efficient. To do less than that's a little bit dangerous. To do more than that is not necessarily proportionately beneficial. Now, let me say, the context of this conversation is the branding effort. So 21 ads per week, 6A to 7P. The average listener hears the same ad at least 3 times a week, which is what we want. Now, in that situation, I want you to change the ad after the identical listener has heard the identical ad about 9 times. Try not to change it less than 8 times or let it go more than 12 times. 9 times, 10 times is kind of what you're looking for. So if you're only running 1 ad, you change it about every 3 weeks. Well, what if you're rotating 2 ads? Then you would change them every 6 weeks. Now we're talking branding ads. We're not talking about ads that are going to be measured in the short term. If you're trying to make something happen and happen quickly and measurably and immediately, then you're going to need a much bigger schedule than that. Now, he goes on. Secondly, I'd like to hear Roy's thoughts on car dealer advertising. Many local dealership commercials sound the same. Factoids, artificial urgency, hyperbole, and cliche. Apart from the manufacturer model, there's a fill-in-the-blank sameness to so much of it. The car dealers I've talked to say, it's a today business. Well, let me explain. Car dealers genetically tend to be twitchy little bastards. They want to make things happen immediately. They want to run an ad Thursday or Friday and then measure how many cars it sells this weekend. And that's just not how advertising works. But a lot of people like to pretend that's how it works. A lot of people will in fact create circumstances where it can work that way. Now let's look at what it takes for an ad to produce immediate results. And by the way, the question at hand is this branding? The question was, is it feasible to build a durable, distinctive brand this way? Is it feasible to build a durable, distinctive brand this way? No, it is not feasible. Bad idea, not going to happen. Anytime your ad has an expiration, in other words, offer ends Saturday night at midnight, or this offer expires Friday at 6 p.m. Well, shortly after that, typically 1 night's sleep later, all memory of the ad is gone. So no, there's no branding going on when your ads expire. Other than, there'll be one long-term memory. Never buy from these people unless it's on sale. They have a lot of sales. And so if you're always running artificial urgency, must take advantage now because it's half price today, tomorrow it's double again. Yeah, you're simply teaching the customer, wait until it's on sale. So that is your brand. Wait till it's on sale. Don't buy from us unless it's on sale. Now, as I said, there is a way to make ads work immediately, but this is what you have to have. You have to have credibility. People have to believe you. And you have to have relevance. People have to care. So the first question is, do I care? If the answer is yes, I care, then it's relevant to the listener. an ad that's extremely relevant, but has no credibility. In other words, I'm very interested in that. I just don't believe you. Highly relevant, no credibility, that's hype. And then the third thing you have to have, if you do have high relevance and high credibility, they're interested and they believe you. Now you have to have urgency, but not phony urgency. You have to have credible urgency. They have to understand why they must act now or lose the chance. In other words, the Rolling Stones are going to be in Austin tonight, one night only. Do you want tickets or not? Now, if you're a Rolling Stones fan, it's relevant. It is credible because I'm telling you who's going to be here and when they're going to be here, and it's hard to lie about something as concrete as that. And then urgent. Yeah, they're leaving town tomorrow. Boom, the end. Of course it's urgent. If you don't act now, you miss your chance possibly forever. So relevance, credibility, urgency. Now, is it feasible to build a distinctive, durable brand this way? No.
Back when I was 18, I woke up each and every morning in beautiful Vietnam. I was a supply sergeant in the Marines. My job was to make sure that my guys got whatever they needed.
Hey, Pugi, you got that?
Yeah, under your cot.
You're the best, Pugi.
Don't mention it. Yeah, you heard right, Pugi. P-U-G-I.
Pugi.
I haven't been a supply sergeant for more than 25 years, but I never forgot what I learned.
Pugi.
Each and every day, it's still my job to figure out a way to get my customers whatever they want.
Pugi.
Most of them want top dollar for the trade-in and then a price on a new Mazda like they was family or something.
Pugi.
No problem. Pugi can do that for you.
Pugi.
Come in and test drive a new Mazda at Pugi of Chicagoland, also known as Downers Grove Mazda. You'll find us on West Ogden Avenue, just east of I-355.
Pugi.
Mazda. Get in. Be moved. Getting a new Mazda from Pugi can be a beautiful thing.
Pugi.
Okay, we did that ad about 15 years ago for Dominic Pugliani in South suburban Chicago, Downers Grove. He became a legend in greater Chicagoland within just a year or so, but all of his ads had that little Pugi character that could only say one word, Pugi, Pugi, Pugi. And you never knew when this little Tinkerbell Pugi character was going to show up, but it only said one word. And Dominic, the car dealer, was the only person who obviously couldn't hear it. He didn't interact with that character. He didn't seem to hear it. As a matter of fact, his version of the script never even showed where that character would enter. Now here's the point. People would turn up the radio because you never knew. The guy was always telling interesting stories. You liked him. You felt like you knew him. And he was never trying to shove a car down your throat. And so people would drive past 22 other Volkswagen dealers, 18 other Mazda dealers, and 14 other Hyundai dealers to get to him. He did incredibly well. And then he retired and turned the store over to a general manager after a couple of years. The general manager decided he wanted us to buy according to gross rating points and do it correctly and whatever it is that he believed about marketing. And so we said, no, thank you very much. We're not going to do that. And so we don't work with Pugi of Chicagoland anymore, but I'm sure they're still in business, and they're probably still using the name that we crafted for them. Because back in those days, Volkswagen, Mazda, and Hyundai were not the hottest brands you could sell. And strangely, we got co-op from all three manufacturers for variations of that exact same ad. Now, the exact same ad would run, but we would use the Volkswagen tagline at the end of it to collect Volkswagen co-op. We would use the Hyundai tagline at the end of it to collect Hyundai co-op, and I believe that was the Mazda tagline you heard in that version. So the listener felt like they heard the same ad 3 times, and effectively they did. Now, my theory about co-op advertising is this. Are you paying for half of the manufacturer's advertising, or are they paying for half of yours? Now, they want you to believe that they're paying for half of your advertising, but when they dictate that the bulk of the ad is about them, and then the tag simply names who you are and where you're at, you're paying for half of their advertising. But if they let you write the script, and it's about you and your dealership, your company, and then they are mentioned by slogan and name, then yeah, they're paying for half of your advertising. And so instead of having 3 separate ads that were connected only to the 3 manufacturers and only tangentially connected to our client, we had one ad connected to our client and collecting for 1/3 of the schedule from Hyundai, 1/3 of the schedule from Mazda, 1/3 of the schedule from Volkswagen. And it worked really fabulous, and like I said, all was well, and he boomed and thrived and grew and expanded and was famous and much adored those many years ago. And we've been out of touch. I hope he's still doing well.